One thing that not enough people are talking about is that Elon Musk saying Donald Trump is in the Epstein files means that Elon Musk, as a government employee, probably saw parts of the Epstein files that are currently confidential and or classified, which means he may have just violated the law by putting that tweet up, because you're not allowed to share government documents and government information.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim Miller.
I'm Cameron Kasky, and this is FYPod, Bulwark's show for hardcore politics, teen gossip, and sometimes maybe a little friendship along the way. Today we are joined by Aaron Parnas, the king of making selfie videos. How you doing, my man?
Good, that was very intense.
This is going to be a very intense episode. We've got everything from the first messy gay breakup of Pride Month featuring Donald Trump and Elon Musk, as well as some other shit that Tim told me about before we got started, but obviously that's the one I'm thinking about the most. But Aaron, I think we want to hear a little bit about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got something of an origin story.
A little bit. Yeah, my origin story is a little different. It's not necessarily your average kind of coming of age story in this kind of industry.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my backstory way back, I started college when I was 14. And then I graduated college when I was 18.
Oh, no, that's a red flag for me.
Well, listen.
Okay.
It is what it is.
We learned about this do you know Curtis Yarvin? I've already derailing the podcast. This is when you get Gen Z white bros together, we just like to talk about, we got to talk about tech, how much we love the tech bros, we like to bro out. But Curtis Yarvin went to college at 12, and I think that's why he became a fascist. That's kind of one of my things. So did you have that experience at all?
It actually went the complete opposite.
Okay. Yeah, Let's hear more. I apologize for interrupting.
So started when I was 14, then went to law school when I was 18. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was 17, 18 years old that my family had gotten into politics, because my dad kind of grew up with Donald Trump's dad, grew up in that kind of circle. And
Lev and Fred?
Lev and Fred.
Hanging, chilling?
I think from what I understand, and I don't know the full details, but my dad's first job was for Fred.
Really?
One of his first jobs.
Have you ever been to the Trump family home in Queens?
No, I have not.
Lev?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So they weren't that close. You didn't invite him over to dinner.
Lev is his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. Lev
What
Parnas.
the fuck do you mean, duh?
Did you Google him before the show started?
Clearly not.
I met Aaron at the Annoying Content Creator Conference, and we really got along. We've got some mutual friends, and I was like, this guy is good people. I watched some of his selfie vids for the Midas Touch guys.
I thought all Gen Zs Googled people immediately after meeting them and learned everything about them.
I didn't Google you until we were like 12 weeks into the podcast.
I know, it's very strange. Anyway, his dad's Lev Parnas.
Yeah.
Who was kind of a big deal when you were like 12, because he was involved in the effort to, I don't know, get the Hunter Biden laptop from Ukraine or something.
Something like that. I mean, they were involved in a whole host of kind of.
Okay, so we'll take it back. So to help out Cameron, since he hasn't Googled you, your father's Lev.
Yes.
Him and Fred were pals. And so that's how he got mobbed, or he worked for Fred.
He worked for Fred, and then I guess he met Donald a couple times. We grew up in South Florida, so you run in similar circles. In Boca.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. That's where my temple was.
I was 15 minutes away from where you went to high school.
Did you go to B'nai Israel?
No, I went to Chabad.
Okay, well, B'nai Israel is really cool.
Okay, we don't need it's not Jewish Pride Month, okay? It's Gay Pride.
Jewish was last month.
every month is Jewish Pride Month.
Correct.
For me.
Okay, we don't need to learn about Shabbat. Okay, so you're a kid, and so did you ever go to Mar-a-Lago?
I have actually never been to Mar-a-Lago, no.
Okay, all right. But so Donald's around, your dad and him are hanging out maybe.
I guess a couple times, time to time.
And so then he gets mobbed up with Rudy.
Well, that didn't actually happen until I think Trump took office, not until 2017.
All right, I'm sorry, you tell your own story.
Yeah, so it was back in 2015 when Trump first announced he had a rally in Doral in the Trump golf club over there, and we went, and my dad was able to somehow get this like backstage pass or whatever, and we got to meet Trump with like about, 50 other people there. And then
so you got a pic?
Yeah, we got a pic.
Is that out there on the internet? Can I Google that right now?
I'm pretty sure you can find it if you wanted to.
You keep talking.
But then, so about a year went by, nothing really happened. My dad just kind of like started getting closer and closer to kind of like the Trump one circle in terms of like the campaign. Mm-hmm. I think he hosted a fundraiser for them or something. And then it wasn't until he went to the election night party. But then it wasn't until I think 2017 or 2018 where my dad somehow met Rudy at, I believe it was a Red Sox-Yankees game. And they kind of just hit it off and then became pals.
Was this before or after the picture of the hair dye dripping down his face?
Before.
Definitely before.
Okay, got it.
This is, they're just sitting next to each other?
I think they were in a, so that's...
Is this it?
No, that's 2019.
Okay, so you met him twice?
Met him a few times.
Okay, all right, keep going.
But no, so they met just had, I think it was in the box of some Yankees game. I don't know how they met other than that, but so they met, they hit it off. Rudy kind of became part of our family. My dad spoke to him more than he spoke to me. And it was a bit of a weird relationship.
I feel like you kind of yada over something. Like they're at a baseball game with Rudy, and then he became part of the family.
That's really it. Like they just hit it off, and they got each other's numbers. And next thing,
it like they both like whiskey, Italian food.
My dad doesn't drink, so it has nothing to do with the whiskey.
Rudy drinks.
Rudy does drink.
A lot. Scotch, I think.
Yes.
And so was it like gangster movies? Like they're both into like.
I don't know.
Goodfellas?
They both grew up in New York. They had this like New York mentality, kind of New York brotherhood type vibe going on. I don't know. But ultimately, like
So Rudy's been to the house.
Rudy has been to the house, yes. I mean, he's my little brother's godfather. He picked up my little brother at his bris. So
really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they got very close very fast.
And like, do you hang out with the Giulianis? Like you and Caroline hang out or anything?
No, I had never met anyone other than Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy seems like by this point in Rudy's life, he might have been looking for a new family. He was like an orphan. He's like a grown-up orphan walking around, and your dad just took him in. I think that's my guess.
Maybe.
It's like a stray dog kind of situation.
My Uncle Rudy.
Maybe. I mean, listen.
Lady and the Tramp. It's like he was kind of tramp, and you guys just like took him into the home. It seems like
could be. I don't know. So they hit it off. They started becoming closer and closer, and then next thing I knew, they were traveling literally across the globe in search for dirt on Hunter Biden. That became like the big thing that my dad and Rudy were working on.
In retrospect, it feels kind of like they probably didn't need to fly to Ukraine to find dirt on Hunter Biden. Like Hunter had an illegitimate child. He's like doing meth, smearing poop on pictures and selling it to people.
I was going to say, like, selling really expensive paintings. I feel like selling expensive paintings is a pretty good, way to know that somebody's doing some sort of fraud. I'm surprised. Was Hunter ever doing crypto? Did you ever have Hunter Biden coin?
I don't know anything about Hunter.
Yeah. Okay, so they were traveling to Ukraine. Did you ever go to Ukraine?
No.
Okay, so they were traveling to Ukraine, just like fucking Keystone cops running around Kyiv, asking people if they've met Hunter Biden.
I mean,
going to brothels. That's like, do you or anyone you know have any of you met Hunter Biden?
It was really odd. I mean, I personally wanted to not be a part of it as much as I can. So I literally didn't ask any questions, tried to stay out of it as much as I can because I just wanted my dad. And I didn't have
So we had Mooch Jr. on last week. This was unintentional for me to be back to back. But so like, he got kind of into the Trump thing for a minute. Like he was doing stop motion videos for the campaign apparently. Did you have a moment of liking Trump like from back in the OG?
I guess back in 2015 I had a moment where it was kind of like, oh, this is someone new, this is someone different. I knew nothing about politics and was never really involved. So I was like, this guy's kind of just talking and telling it like it is. And when you grow up in a household where Fox News is playing on repeat, it's kind of all you know.
Wait, but you already had like 3 graduate degrees by then, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't really in politics. I was trying to be a lawyer. So I was working at my local public defender's office at the time.
Got it.
That's cute.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at pictures of you right now. Okay, so your dad's flying around, getting mobbed up with Rudy.
Hunt for Hunter, baby.
You're a little hunting for Hunter. Carmen Sandiegoing for Hunter hookers. And you're just like hanging out legally.
I am in law school at the time.
You're like the Doogie Howser of law school.
a little bit.
This is a lot of Gen Z references happening on the Gen Z pod.
I can't say Doogie Howser is a Gen Z reference. It's a bit of a boomer reference, but it's okay.
That's Neil Patrick Harris, right?
Yeah. That's
Happy Pride, everybody.
NPH. Okay, and so then he comes back. That shit unravels. Trump gets impeached. What are you thinking about during all that time? Your dad's like, did you guys have like people outside your house were like?
Yeah, I mean, I had reporters kind of sliding notes under my door, trying to take pictures of me on the way to my law school. They were obviously outside of my dad's house, but I was living in D.C. He was in Florida at the time, so it was very separate. But when Trump got impeached, my dad was under indictment at that point, so it was a very different kind of father-son relationship and family dynamic.
Different moment.
Yeah.
Well, the good news was you were about to be a lawyer. So he was going to be in need of some legal counsel.
The one thing I don't do is work for my family.
Okay, and so then his flip happened. So we're just going to be candid here.
Yeah.
This is real talk in the pod. I was kind of skeptical of your dad's flip.
Sure.
I was kind of like...
Oh, wait, he's Scaramucci'd?
Oh, yeah.
My man.
Hardcore.
Good shit, dude.
Hard mooch flip. And on that one, I was kind of like, I don't know. This guy is flying around Ukraine.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening here. It feels a little Feels a little fake.
Well, I will
Feels a
say,
little scammy.
I think the moment my dad flipped, I remember it because my dad actually called me from inside the Alexandria Detention Center. He was behind bars for about 2 weeks, waiting like bail and bond and whatever. And he said, Aaron, I got a note card or like a postcard slipped under my jail cell, and it was from Rudy. And it said, something to the effect of like, Paul Manafort, you have a good lawyer. At the time, my dad's lawyer was the person who represented Paul Manafort. And they were like, Paul only got 5 or 7 years. Like, you'll be fine, essentially, something like that. And my dad still has that postcard to this day, and it's signed by Rudy. It's from the White House. It's like this whole, it's like straight out of a movie. And in that moment, he was like, I'm
It's
done.
on like White House stationery?
I think so. It has like a White House symbol at the top. It was very odd.
Don't worry, bro. If you just take one for the team here, it'll only be a short 5 to 7 with good behavior. We'll have you out in 4.5.
It was
with an
very
ankle
odd.
bracelet. Huh. And then how long did he end up having to be there?
He was sentenced to 20 months. He only ended up serving about 3 months behind bars because of COVID and stuff like that, so that he got early release, but he was on house arrest.
Did you make any jail friends?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Come back.
No, I did not ask him
Did he
that.
come back jacked with a bunch of tattoos?
No, he did not. He was only in there for 2.5, 3 months. So
We should have had Lev
Never
on
know.
at the same time. Wow, okay. And so then when during this process were you like, all right, I don't want to be a Supreme Court justice anymore. I want to be a TikTok creator.
that wasn't until last year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, so I didn't start TikToking until 2022, way after my dad was already indicted, going to trial, all that jazz. And it wasn't until Russia invaded Ukraine. We still had family in Ukraine, so I would be hearing from them on the ground what they would be seeing outside of their window, and then I would just kind of report on it on TikTok. And blew up to 1 million followers in a week. Did that for 6 months. Got completely banned on TikTok after being mass reported.
The Chinese?
The Russians, and then went and clerked
Can
for.
you trust the Russians?
No, I mean Trump does.
Yeah, that's
But-
true. Well, he's stupid.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so then you got off and clerked.
Then I got off, clerked for a federal judge, and then restarted end of 2023, I guess, or early 2024, and then now I'm doing it full time.
You see, you can't say shit like this because now Tim and Bulwark are going to expect me to be pulling those numbers while I'm doing my fucking
Well, you
content
should.
creation. Dude, I'm swimming in your wake. I'm doing the selfie videos over the tweets where I'm providing commentary. The difference is you went to law school and I dropped out of Columbia after a semester and a half and went and worked for a Hollywood producer for 2 years. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of slaying, not to toot my
You're
own
doing
horn.
great.
Thanks so much, dog. So Lev Parnas, I'm going to have to give him a Google. He is the man who single-handedly defeated the Biden regime, although Joe ended up doing the pardon, #FreeHunter. And
Well, my dad did apologize to Hunter on national television on MSNBC.
I don't know if he needed to do that.
#sorry Hunter.
I mean, he should, for our democracy, maybe he should apologize. But like Hunter probably deserved it.
So we've
Listen,
got
my take on it all is that I actually don't think Hunter deserved it. But
Really?
I don't. I mean, I think that he was put in a very shitty situation. Like, did he do good things in life? No. But ultimately,
he was totally scamming.
But he's the president's son. He's not the president.
Yeah, I know, but he had no reason to be on the board of Burisma. Like, he had no experience. He has a child that he's not parenting.
is
He's, like, doing-
Burisma not like the name of a Jewish holiday?
No, Burisma is the name of the company he was on the board of that I guess Lev was going through the trash cans outside the
I don't know.
headquarters in Kyiv. I think he kind of deserved it.
Wait,
I
do you
guess.
guys remember in the 2020 campaign that time where they got like leaked texts from Joe to Hunter and they were using them to attack Joe and the texts were like, "Hello, my dear son. I love you and I miss you. Your beautiful granddaughters are doing great and we all can't wait to see you." And everyone was like attacking Biden for being like a good dad. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do remember that.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, some of those leaks were bad. I haven't found this picture of you and Trump yet, but I do have this picture. We'll put it up on the screen here of you and Joe Biden in the White House. Is Joe Biden? You can look at it right here.
Yeah, that was back
Joe-
in December.
Is Joe Biden alive in that photo?
He is. He was sharp.
Was he sharp?
He was sharp.
Okay, he looked good.
He looked good. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a little repartee?
No,
Did he threaten to attack?
It wasn't a long conversation.
Did he threaten
It was.
to attack Jake Tapper?
No,
during
no,
that
no.
conversation?
Did you guys address the elephant in the room? Were you like, "Hey, by the way, my dad was one of the
We
hunters
did not
sniper?"
have time to talk about all that. It was only about a 2-minute meeting.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Oh, so he didn't Google you either? It's just another thing Cameron
Listen,
and Joe Biden have in
if-
common?
Sleepy Cam, baby. I am very sleepy right now. I had a very early train.
Okay. Well, I want to get into the divorce here. Is there anything else? Any other origin story elements we missed?
No, I mean, I think that's it.
Why? I guess why do you, I was going to wait till the end to do this, but I'll do this because we want to keep people, engaged and watching before we get to the good stuff, which is the first gay divorce of Pride. With the audience, what kind of audience are you getting there on TikTok, do you think? Because my mother-in-law,
in terms
Ann,
of like demographics?
Yeah, Ann Jameson,
Yeah.
she's a big fan of yours. We love Ann.
Love
we
that.
honor her. She's a retired
Shout out to
teacher.
Ann.
Yeah, shout out to her. Watches you all the time. Asks me what I think about you. Said I'd never met him before. She'll be very excited that we've got to meet right now. But,
So half of my audience.
she's a liberal teacher in rural West Virginia, and so it's not like are you here?
Kudos to her.
Is
for
that
dealing with
that your audience? Like
No, I mean half my
boomer
audience
ladies?
is under the age of 40.
Really?
Most of them are young people between the ages of 25 and 34.
Okay. So they're kind of like dorky guys or like women? What kind of?
I mean, it breaks 60-40 women to men.
Who's saying hi to you on the street? I don't want you, don't get your nerd stuff out with your stats.
It's truly all of the above.
You're walking down the mall.
I have Republicans following me
Yeah.
who message me all the time saying, listen, I don't necessarily agree with what you put out, but I
Yeah.
respect it.
Okay.
I have centrists following me. The far left doesn't really like me, so they
Why
don't
not?
really follow.
What'd you do to them?
I didn't do anything to them. For some reason, they just don't really like me, but that's time.
Are you for a one-state solution in Israel? Is that why they don't like you?
I am not for a one-state solution. I am for a two-state solution.
Is it far-left anti-Semitism, you think, that's going
I think a part of it is,
a little
yeah.
bit of that? So
I kind of feel irrelevant because I spend so much time with the far left. I hang out with the far left people on Twitter, the crazy people who freak out about you.
Yeah.
And I don't get any anti-Semitism from them. And I'm like, I feel like they don't even know that I'm Jewish, and therefore, do I matter?
start wearing a kippah.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, when I posted about the Colorado Boulder attack and said how horrible it was, I got comments saying you should be next. So.
Oh my God.
That's not great.
And it wasn't necessarily only from the right.
Here's the thing, and we have that. There's just something. We'll get into this maybe with the anxiety on the far left crowd because, a lot of them, their hearts are in the right place, but it's just they're very annoying. And like I had on the pod this week, Rahm Emanuel and Matt Iglesias back to back. Not any.
The far left.
Yeah,
Right
these aren't people that like obviously if you're a socialist, if you're like really loving Zoran, you probably don't like Matt Iglesias
Sure.
and Rahm that much. And I get that's cool, But I have them on and like our listeners that don't like them, it's like complaining, Tim, why are you having these people? They're so annoying. And I'm like, guys, just like let Matt Iglesias cook, man. He just wants Democrats to win. All right, get off his back. When I have, when I had Mehdi on or something, us normie centrists, there aren't people being like, why are you going after him? Like we have real lives.
We have a Big Ten party.
Normal centrists are just kind of hanging out, like going drinking some wine, and they're not like commenting.
I love Mehdi, man. I went to a debate that was Israel-Palestine at the New York Society for Ethical Culture. Sounds like some shit that,
Okay, that
boring
sounds like
people.
lib shit.
Sounds like lib shit. It was him versus this guy, Elon Levy, who was making some pretty batshit arguments. And he kept on asking Mehdi to denounce Hamas. He was like, do you denounce Hamas? And Mehdi kept going, yeah, I was actually denouncing Hamas like 10 years ago. Like, you can look it up. So then at the after party, which was really tense because that debate series was normally like people debating about how much money should go to the library or various issues. This was Israel-Palestine, and the after party was both of the people who were debating. So it was this room filled with these Zionists who supported Elon Levy and these pro-Palestine people who were there with Mehdi. And I bump into Mehdi, and he says one thing to me, which is, "Oh, I didn't think you were that tall." And I'm not even tall. I'm 5'10". Like, that's very
You're
average.
a little taller than you give off
Thank you.
online.
Yeah, but I was just
Did you
gonna
ask
say-
him if he condemned Hamas?
Well, no. So there was a plate of like hors d'oeuvres, and there was hummus on it, and I was like, "Mehdi, I need you to announce that for me."
So yeah, I don't know. I just think our people are a little more chill. It's good though that our people. I speak for myself. I know that you're a far left radical that wants to overturn capitalism. Cam, like the fact that you're just succeeding, that's good because that's not conventional wisdom, right? Like conventional wisdom is to do well with the youngs these days. You got to either be in Charlie Kirk, a fascist, or you've got to be like Cam's boy Hassanabi, talking what up, go far leftist stuff over, and like there's kind of a view that you can't succeed as a content creator just like doing normal lib shit.
There's a third way,
so to speak.
And that's just giving them facts.
And it's working for you?
Yeah, they just want to know the truth.
Right.
They just want to know
There's a
facts.
third way. That's also what I say when I'm explaining to Tim that bisexuality is real. Happy fucking Pride, everybody.
I'm still pretty skeptical.
Speaking of Pride, hey everybody. On this episode of the FYPod, we want to celebrate Pride by talking about the first gay, messy breakup of Pride season. Homosexual icons, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I don't know if you all saw this, but Elon Musk did accuse Trump of being in the Epstein files. And all I can say is that while I feel like all of us were surprised at that, the more we think about it and look back, the more we're like, no element of this is surprising.
But it shouldn't have been surprising. We knew he was in the Epstein files. He was on the call logs.
Well, it was just like...
Or the fight logs.
There's been this weird thing with the Epstein stuff for me, and I'm sure many other people feel the same way, where it's like culturally, we really let the Epstein shit slide. Like, we did in fact find out that there was a giant pedophile Gilligan's Island happening, and probably some of the most elite politicians in the country and the world were there. And I feel like more people got pissed that Rachel Zegler played Snow White than they did about Pedophile Island. And then Epstein didn't kill himself became such a meme that became the Epstein thing. And we were like, wait, there's information showing us who was there, and we all kind of ignored it. But I feel like everyone kind of knew Trump was on it. Everybody knew Trump-Elon was going to happen, and everyone knew it was going to be messy. So a day later, when I look back at the Epstein thing, I'm like, no, that wasn't really a surprise.
I've been on this for a fucking minute, and I think it's a huge mistake of the left that they allowed the Epstein didn't kill himself conspiracy to be coded as like a right-wing view, when it's like, Trump was president when Epstein died in jail. Mm-hmm. Trump was at his press conference talking about how much he loves Ghislaine Maxwell, or however you say that name, Ghislaine Maxwell, and like how he wishes her the best. Like, there's pictures of Trump and X, they're hanging out. Like, I was like, how did this conspiracy that, like, they were trying to cover up what happened turn out to be, like, right-wingers saying that Hillary and the deep state were doing it? It's like, if there was a culprit here, if someone's covering up what Epstein knew, it seems like Donald Trump is the prime candidate.
Who was the Trump administration nutbag recently? Was it Bongino who was like, we have video that proves that Epstein was alone in killing himself, right?
Yeah, it was Bongino, which makes you think he's in on it now.
But why arrest him then? Because Trump's DOJ arrested him.
That's an interesting counterpoint.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we have a lawyer come in.
Well, maybe the Trump DOJ in term one was just like doing shit without intervention from the White House, and then once Trump realized that they had the man in jail, he was like, I gotta off him. I gotta snuff this guy out.
That might be it. I don't know that Pam Bondi would have done it.
Bill Barr was in then.
Was it Bill Barr or was it Jeff Sessions?
It was Bill Barr.
It
was Bill Barr as AG when he died, and there are some connections. Bill Barr's dad, I guess, hired Jeff Epstein to be a teacher. A teacher at a school. Oh. So, I don't know, maybe some shit was going on back then.
My question is, like, which prominent person in the Democratic world is on the list? Because there's no way it's, like, just a MAGA thing.
Yeah, Bill Clinton.
I know, but I didn't want to say that to the Bulwark audience who might still have fond memories of the saxophone days. But yeah, it's like, people. I saw somebody... Ken Klippenstein had a really funny tweet that was like, I hope you're all having fun with this on Twitter because soon enough Hillary's going to tweet about it and it's not going to be funny anymore. And I was like, I don't think Hillary's going to tweet about it. I don't think Hillary will have comment on this because there's, if the list comes out, there might be some news.
I think Hillary might tweet about it in a different way though, because I mean the Epstein thing was obviously the part of the breakup that was, the most messy. The
most messy part so far.
Yeah, the most messy part, the most brunch part, the topic that you might want to most talk about at a gay brunch if your two friends broke up because one of them was doing too much ketamine and the other one was being too cunty and spending too much of the family resources. Like it's a pretty common story. I don't know how many gay brunches you've been to. And just as a quick aside, it's pretty shocking to me that the most prominent figure to be known for doing ketamine and meth at the same time ended up being a heterosexual. I think the odds of that are very, very unlikely. Hillary hasn't tweeted about this, though, but I do think that Hillary might want to weigh in on the part that Elon thinks that Donald Trump should be impeached and removed. I mean, Elon has gone full... have you even called for that?
No.
He's gone full... like past the never Trumpers. He speed runs past everybody. He's like, I think that we should remove Donald Trump for the presidency.
Well, if Trump is on the Epstein documents more than we know, then maybe we should open up impeachment proceedings in some way. But is that a high crime and misdemeanor that he committed while in office? No, he didn't do that while in office. He did that.
What about the crypto stuff? We could impeach him over that.
For what?
The fact that the fact that he's taking bribes, is it not it's not a high crime and misdemeanor for the president to take bribes in the White House?
Good luck impeaching him in this House or in that Senate.
Oh yeah, well no, it's not going to actually work, but it might be funny to introduce the Elon Musk articles of impeachment.
That would be hilarious. But for the record, every time a president's impeached, their approval ratings skyrocket.
You don't want to do that.
I'd rather beat him in the midterms.
Hey everybody, for the full episode of FYPod with our friend Aaron, go to the FYPod channel. We're going to have a lot of fun.